Okay, firstly, by way of introduction, my name's Daniel Gray. I'm Business Development Director for Astonish. We put today on myself and Mark and Simon and Nick. So well done to the team at Astonish.
Great goal, Nick.
And thank you all for being here.
I'd like to say well done to Jermaine. Winning team. Well done.
I'd just like to take this opportunity to thank my team. You were fantastic, and the opposition as well. Thank you for turning up.
So we've got a little bit of a Q&A for you guys, and if anybody also wants to ask any questions whilst they're here before the food comes, feel free to ask. So I'm going to read the questions out. I haven't got my glasses on, so do excuse me.
Do you want to borrow my phone again? Like I was zoomed in.
Question 1 for Jermaine. We all remember January the 3rd.
It's House. Forward towards Beckford, and the ball's over Brown, and this is Beckford. He just ran away from him, but he'll still get a strike in and goal, and score at the Stretford end for Leeds United, and it doesn't get any better than that for a Leeds centre forward. Jermaine Beckford gives Leeds the advantage at Old Trafford to the delight of their 9,000 travelling supporters.
You scored that great goal at Old Trafford in the FA Cup. Be honest. How many times have you watched it back?
This week? Or? I don't know. I've lost count.
Okay.
My son loves to watch it as well. My son plays football. He's 11 years old. Little left footer, massive afro. Brilliant, right? And every now and then, when I tell him off, I send him up to his room. It doesn't happen often, but when I send him upstairs, I go up to say to him, right, are you sorry for saying what you said or doing what you did? And I go in, and he's got YouTube on the screen, and I'm pretty sure he's playing mind games with me because it's always that goal. So I walk in, and I'm like, I'm going in there, steam coming out my ears, right, Ren! And I see it, and I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool. I just forget all about it. I say, right, come on in, let's go downstairs, let's go and grab a bite to eat. So
I'll tell you the other side of that story. Ren doesn't put it on. It's actually on repeat in Jermaine's house, all over again.
It's the only channel we've got in my house.
Which then brings us on to the second question, Jermaine. Did you really believe that we would beat Man United that day, or was it just adrenaline and luck?
No, I believed it. I believed it, genuinely, because we went into the game full of confidence. The underdogs, everybody's expecting nothing from us, apart from within Yorkshire. And turning up to the game, we knew they were going to underestimate us. And, when you've got players that are technically gifted, Johnny Howson, Robert Snodgrass, Brad Johnson, there's lots of players in that team that were fantastic. Again, underrated. I knew we were going to catch them out sooner or later, and, fortunately, the moment fell to me and I managed to put the ball away. But we could have walked away with 3 or 4 goals that day. Yeah. I think we had 1 or 2 hit the post, and keeper made a couple of really good saves. And all in all, I think they were quite lucky to get off with just the 1.
Well said.
So you had a bit of a reputation as a maverick.
No.
What was your most rebellious moment in the dressing room?
Probably today, because I heard his team talk was crap.
I know, it worked though. My most rebellious moment in the dressing room. I remember not having the best of first halves. I can't remember who I was playing for. I think it may have been Bolton, I'm not sure. And the manager came in and wanted to make wholesale changes at half time, and I was one of the changes that he wanted to make. So he said, right, Bex, you're coming off. And I went, no, I'm going to stop you there. No, I'm not. I'm going to stay on. And then when I scored, then I'll come off. So that went back and forth for a little while. And I scored. And then I went, right, I'm done.
Happy medium. Who was a gaffer?
No, we're not going there.
So therefore, Jermaine, if you were back at Ellen Road today in your prime, how many goals are you bagging in the Premier League?
With this team? Oh, man. 25-ish. But if I tried, probably 30 odd. This team they're so good. They create so many chances, so many opportunities. And the frustrating thing for me being a number 9 is I know the danger areas, the danger spots where the goals are scored, and if you've got somebody that's a focal point in those number 9 positions, you know what it's like.
There was a few times this season we were doing LUTV together, There was a few moments that we were just looking at each other going, oh, if somebody
Why on earth is
anticipates
Yeah.
that pass in that moment, because this team, we were just absolutely electric.
But then what happens? The ball gets flashed in that exact area that we said.
Yeah.
But that's where I would have found myself, or
Yeah.
Bridgie would have found himself in those areas, and that's why the numbers are so high.
Awesome. So, as you know, me being a Leeds fan, and the majority here are Leeds fans, we all adore you. Is there a chant or moment that still gives you goosebumps?
Yeah, all of them. All of them.
Yeah.
I had so many great times, so many great moments, and all of them stick with me for a variety of different reasons. I think the first time I had my kids here, and they were at an age where they were able to understand what the chants meant. And then the first time my little boy looked at me and said, "Daddy, Jermaine Beckford scored what?" I was like, no, we're not doing that, mate. Not yet. In a couple of years, we'll have a chat. But yeah, that was a goosebump moment for me.
Round of applause, please. And now on to Super Michael Bridges.
Super Mike.
So, Super Mike, you arrived from Sunderland and hit the ground running.
Yeah.
What clicked so quickly for you at Leeds?
Well, I should have signed for Tottenham Hotspur, to be fair. I was actually on my way down. I spoke to George Graham, who was at Leeds the year before, and I went down to Tottenham to actually sign, and I hated the atmosphere from day dot when I was there. I was only there for 10 minutes. Turned around, I was driving back with my agent up to Sunderland, and Peter Reid rang up, and he was in Denmark with Sunderland Football Club at the time, and he said, "What the hell's gone on? Why haven't you signed for Tottenham? I've signed 2 players for 5 million already. You better find another club." So as we're coming up, I got a phone call to say, "Can you stop at Leeds United?" And the difference between going down to Spurs to see and just sit down with a manager who was George Graham, who was Mr. Arsenal, and he was sitting there with Alan Sugar, who didn't give a crap about me as a person, to come to Elland Road and actually witness all the players that I met at the training ground, the staff at the club here getting shown the full shebang of the ground and the training ground and everything. I just felt at home from day dot. Now, if you'd have asked us for my first game of the season against Derby, here, when I could hear the fans going, "Who the hell's he? He's crap." When it was a 0-0 ball draw and everybody was expecting to see Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank run out, but he went to Atletico Madrid, and David O'Leary said, "You better learn to swim quickly because you're going to be playing." It was so refreshing to go down to Southampton and get the hat-trick in the second game. Because there was two things that happened there that I'll never forget. One was we signed Darren Huckabee after the Derby game. They needed another striker. And Eddie Gray came and taps on the shoulder and he went, "He's coming to replace you by all accounts because you were crap in the first game." So he said, "You better perform against Southampton." That was the kick out the backside I needed there. And then when I got the goal, the first goal I scored at Southampton was a misplaced free kick. It bounced back to me and I kind of took a knee, and Luke volleyed it, so I kind of did a Matt Le Tissier against Matt Le Tissier's team, which I felt brilliant. But David Batty was an absolute psycho, and he came up to us and he grabbed us and he just went, "You've arrived." Now that was the moment when it was just a beautiful thing that happened, because I was a very nervous young lad and I knew there was a lot of pressure. And when David Batty says something like that to you, and Lucas Radebe comes up to you as we're in the Radaby Lounge, amazing. That's when I settled.
So was that the free kick? About a year ago, we had lunch in the East Stand, and you told me about how you clipped the defender, but you can't get away with it these days.
Yes.
Just tell them all about that.
Yeah, so the second goal I scored, I saw Danny Mills running up the right-hand side. There was no VAR back then, so what I used to do, my little tricks of the trade, if the defenders were running back towards the goal, and I knew I was behind them, as they run, I used to just give the heel a clip so they'd actually trip themselves up. And the goal, there was, I can't think of the defender, but he went down on the edge of the box. I've got an open goal, side tapping, and thankfully there was no VAR, so you could get away with it for years. Yeah.
So the Champions League run, Champions League run, what was it like in the dressing room?
Oh, just crazy. I mean, we were a very young dressing room. We were blessed. We had a really good core of experienced players, David Batty, Nigel Martin, Lucas Radebe, and then we were basically just told, given a freedom, and it was like what Bex was saying there before, the belief to go to get the result at Old Trafford, the way we went in them European games. We should have been seen as underdogs and naive, but I'll tell you, it was just the moments I'll take in my grave. I mean, to we've just had a game announced against AC Milan pre-season. And obviously that goes back to probably the greatest night that I've ever had here at Elland Road when we beat AC Milan 1-0, because I was standing with my heroes. Maldini's marking us. I never got a touch. Costa Curta's shirt I've got on my wall. Wow. He's probably washed his car or his backside with mine. But you know, these were my heroes, and we managed to get Lee Bowyer scored a goal against Dida. So they're the things I say to my kids, like you were saying. I'll take them nights to my grave, because the celebrations that we had with you guys and girls after games like that were just absolutely incredible. But I say we never let the occasion get to us, and it was just a magical moment that'll live with me forever.
Fantastic. So you've played with some serious talent. Who's the best player that you've shared a pitch with at Leeds?
There's two of them actually. They're both Aussies. One's Harry Kewell. I know we don't like talking about Harry anymore because of where he went and signed. But a great player. What he did from youth level all the way through to senior level was absolutely incredible. Still very good mates on this day. Play golf against him. He was my next door neighbour. We competed at everything. He was such a professional. So he was probably the first one in, the last one to leave. He was in the gym all the time. He practiced. I learned a lot of Harry to be professional and to have basically the brother that I'd never had. And then there's another guy, Mark Viduka, probably the most gifted player in the world. The big man was the last one into the dressing room and the first one to leave the dressing room. So if you could have moulded the two of them with he just had a natural ability that nobody could touch. And on his day, when he was up for it, like we saw against Liverpool with the 4 goals, just something special. But after football, what happens, Harry? Because he's a professional, he loves the game, he went into management and coaching. And Viduk's because he didn't not like the game, he just couldn't be arsed with the game. He's in a he's got his own coffee shop, living the life, and he's serving people, and it's just perfect for Viduk's, because we thought he'd have gone to Jamaica just to sit in a hammock and just relax. So I'm pleased he's doing something, and he's a great man. I'm really looking forward to it actually. I can't give too much away, but we're having a get together on the early June, where we're getting a lot of the old boys together, and thankfully Mark, myself, Nigel Martin, Gary Kelly, we're all getting together because there's something coming out for the fans for the end of the season, or for looking ahead to the new kit launch and everything.
I'm not going to give too much away, but here's all the details.
Well, there's a few of us getting together for something that you will see.
I did actually read the other week that you've all got a WhatsApp group, but David Batty didn't want to know from any of you.
Well, we're kind of finding him, he's missing in action. Yeah. But the WhatsApp group's a unique thing that we've got. We're set up for Dom Matteo after he's had his brain tumour. Thankfully, he's got through it, and he was learning to read and write again and get messages. So obviously, COVID was a crap time for everybody as well. So these WhatsApp messages have been great, and to see the list and all the lads that are on there from our time together was amazing. But we got a bit of a fright when we were slagging off David O'Leary on there once, and he came on, he went, "And I'm here, boys," and we're like,
Right, last 2 questions before we grab some food, and then we'll do a little bit of a quiz whilst everyone's eating. If VAR existed back then, would it have helped you or stitched you up?
Well, I've just explained to you. That would have stitched you up. So my 21 goals that season would have probably been 10 with the interference with the players. Yeah.
Okay, and last question. You're a top pundit now, but if Leeds called and offered you a 1-game return, would it be the boots or the mic?
Well, because the head suggests that we still think we're footballers, as I could tell by a lot of yous out there today. The brain tells you a different thing to what your body allows to do. I would always say I'll take the boots every day of the week, and after 3 minutes I would say give me the core competition. There you
Put
go.
your hands together for Michael Boots. Alright guys, let's grab some food.
Yeah, you don't leave us hanging.
I won't leave you hanging, bud.
Can I just say thank you? Oh, sorry, Paul. Excellent, well done. Good on you. Thank you.